name's Leslie Mouton. I'm a reporter and anchor in San Antonio, Texas at KSAT TV. I've been reporting on stories for some 14 years. Never did I expect to become a story. But when I was diagnosed with breast cancer in October of 2000, I did what I know how to do best. I reported on it. So what you're about to see are a series of stories that I decided to share with the public. The most personal, private, and intimate parts of my battle. From my diagnosis and surgery, chemotherapy, hair loss, and radiation. I hope it enlightens you and shows you what a woman with breast cancer experiences when she goes through treatment.
This is KSAT 12 News.
It was a diagnosis that shocked all of us.
On a Friday the 13th, if you can believe that, I found out I have breast cancer. The last 4 months have been the toughest of my life. Surgery, chemotherapy, hair loss. But the prognosis is good, in large part because I caught it early.
This is the breast of a 35-year-old woman. It's my breast, and that white dot has forever changed my life.
Because it's not perfectly round, because you see the actual starburst appearance or the spiculated appearance, these are all characteristics of a cancer. And her cancer turns out to be infiltrating ductal carcinoma.
It was not this mammogram that detected the cancer, it was a self-exam. Now I'm here at North Central Baptist, about to undergo surgery to remove it.
I love you. Now you're not. Now I'm not scared anymore.
By my side, my 2-year-old daughter Nicole, and my husband, Tony.
And what are we doing here?
Electrocardiogram.
Before surgery, my heart is checked for unusual rhythms.
Head straight up. Good.
My chest is x-rayed. All to make sure I can withstand surgery.
I take out the area that we feel and a normal rim of tissue around that. And then I take out the sentinel lymph nodes.
My surgeon prepares me for what's ahead and warns me we don't yet know if I will need a lumpectomy or mastectomy.
Okay?
I think I'm ready.
You're ready. Ready as you're ever going to do.
Then I'm put under. My life left in the hands of my surgeon and God.
Lord Jesus, please. Just go well and heal me.
Meanwhile, my family anxiously waits and worries.
Clear margins around it. There were a few little lymph nodes, the sentinel lymph nodes I took, but nothing dramatic, so we'll just have to wait and see what they say.
Okay, fantastic.
She's doing fine, no problems at all.
All right, can we see her?
Not yet.
Hey, are you okay? I'm okay. I think I'm kind of groggy.
Groggy and sore, but alive, and less one cancerous lump in my breast.
Now, my lymph nodes were negative for cancer, but I would still have to undergo 4 rounds of chemo.
For millions of people with cancer, chemotherapy is their best bet to beat it.
When I was diagnosed with breast cancer, I was told I needed to undergo 4 rounds of chemo. Well, I'm happy to tell you that it's over. I've done it, and I've lived to tell you about it. Tonight I'm sharing my experience so you can see exactly what it's like to undergo chemotherapy.
Hi, Leslie. Hi. I don't want to be here.
Thursday, November 30th, the day I've been dreading, my first of 4 chemotherapy treatments.
If it returns somewhere outside of the breast, we are unable to cure it. If we give you chemotherapy at this point, it's actually more effective.
So here I am, about to have 2 types of chemo pumped through my veins.
Here's the adriamycin. This is the one that we've discussed at length because it will cause you to lose your hair. It's the red bag. The other medicine is cytoxan. They both work on cells that are dividing quickly. Together, they definitely have a high chance of causing nausea and vomiting.
I want you to take a breath in and blow out real hard for me.
It's in? I didn't feel it at all.
The chemo is delivered through a Metaport, surgically implanted in my chest. First, I'm given anti-nausea and anti-anxiety medication. Then, the poison.
It's just that I know that it's no going back now.
But it's okay. It's going to be okay.
Okay.
It isn't painful, just emotional. My husband Tony is there to comfort me, and before long, the anti-anxiety drugs kick in. When the second chemo, cytoxan, hits, I know it.
Oh, something's burning my nose.
It only lasts a minute or 2, and I'm back asleep. Before I know it, it's over.
It's time to wake up. You're all better. Yeah, it's all done. You're all done. Your hair's not, it didn't fall out or anything.
Pull it, make sure.
You got
Still there.
My hair didn't fall out that day, but it did fall out 2 weeks to the day after the treatment. Now, tomorrow night, I'm going to show you how I dealt with losing my hair. And for one night, I'm going to anchor this newscast without my wig. I'm going to do it for support of all chemo patients, past, present, and future, and to help take the stigma out of being bald.
She has shared her story of diagnosis and treatment. Tonight, Leslie shares the most personal part of her battle with breast cancer, hair loss. And we want to prepare you. She has taken off her wig and will join us for the rest of this newscast without her hair. It's her tribute to all cancer survivors, but it's also a pretty brave thing to do.
Thank you, Steve. I don't think it's really brave. I really look at it as something that's necessary, because you see me up here night after night with my wig on, looking healthy and happy. But this is my reality. I'm bald, and the prospect of losing my hair was the toughest part of my fight against cancer.
Thursday, December 14th, 2 weeks to the day after my first chemo, my hair starts coming out by the handfuls.
Whoa.
No way to stop it. I decide to embrace it and make my hair loss a huge event.
Rubber banded on the top and at the bottom.
Family and close friends rally around me. We tie tiny braids in my hair, memory locks laced with pink ribbon.
1, 2, 3, 4.
One by one, the braids are cut. Then my hairdresser, Becky, goes to work. Snip, 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 and finally, the clippers.
Saving Mama's hair.
The hair that took a lifetime to grow is gone in a matter of minutes. But I'm not alone.
So here we go, Daddy.
My husband, Tony, shaves his hair too, and so does a good friend, Cowboy Cat. Now that's support. By morning, I'm bald.
I have big ears. That's the only thing. I think I need to tape them.
Mary at Haygood's Hair Happenings marks my hairline and custom cuts my wig.
There we go. See, just like that.
She teaches me how to tape it, comb it, and care for it. But the final cut comes from my good friend Becky.
You probably need some layering and stuff to take place up here.
She
It's
snips
better off
and
for
cuts.
the ends. I love that right there on your face like that.
She styles and recreates.
All right, you want to stand up and get close?
It's blonder and thicker, but it's hair, and it's mine.
Now, what this whole ordeal has taught me is that the thought of losing my hair was really much worse than the reality. Being bald isn't so bad. Now, that said, I am happy my hair is starting to grow back as we speak.
Radiation, a common treatment for many types of cancer.
Including breast cancer. I recently finished 28 rounds of radiation and was surprised at how precise and unpainful it was. Tonight I begin a two-part series so you can see exactly what happens when a woman with breast cancer undergoes radiation.
First thing we're going to do is make a mold for you that you're going to lay into every day for treatment.
It's a concise, controlled, and effective way to kill cancer, and necessary even after surgery and chemotherapy.
The role of the radiation is to get rid of any remaining malignant cells, however few those might be, and so that those won't grow back.
But before the actual radiation comes preparation.
This will be a little tight across your tummy while we're making the mold.
With my arms positioned above my head, I'm placed on a plastic cradle.
It'll just start taking the air out. It'll just kind of start to get hard there.
It makes a vacuum-sealed mold of my upper body.
So every day you get in the same position. Your arms are always in the same position. Very reproducibly is why we do that.
Ink is then used to mark the treatment area, and 3 tiny dots are tattooed across my chest.
Not so bad. One more on that side and we're finished.
God forbid, if it ever comes back in the other breast or somewhere else, we can reconstruct that whole treatment from those dots.
From this point on, we don't want you to move at all.
Molded and marked, I'm then moved through a CAT scan.
We're going to take one slice right through the middle here.
Dr. Air checks the treatment area and makes sure the radiation will miss my heart and only skim the lung. It's a 2-hour process that will make each upcoming treatment quick, painless, and precise, down to the millimeter.
Now, a few days later, I would begin treatment. 5.5 weeks of radiation, taken every day, 5 days a week.
You can't see it, but it kills cancer, and it's one of the most misunderstood treatments for breast cancer.
Many people think radiation therapy is as tough on your body as chemotherapy. Well, let me tell you, it isn't even close. I went through 28 treatments of radiation. I never once threw up, was ever nauseous, and my hair didn't fall out. As a matter of fact, it started growing back.
My partner and I are going to be in there setting you up to the marks that they placed on you.
February 27th, bald and just weeks out of chemo, it's time for my first round of radiation.
Just undress from the waist up.
I'm placed on a table, arms above my head, my torso in a mold specially made for me.
You're going to hear us talk back and forth to each other. We're just setting you up and getting you aligned. Cradle.
94.8. Looks good. So we're all set up to go. The gantry is angled so that it just skims the chest wall and gets all the breast tissue. You can breathe normal, just don't move. If you have to sneeze or cough, please don't lift your arms.
The process, precise and fast. 30 seconds on one side, 90 seconds on the other. It's the same procedure 5 days a week.
Today we're going to be taking films.
By the 4th week, eyelashes and eyebrows peek through the skin. Tiny sprouts of hair finally visible. And the end of treatment also in sight.
It's over!
6 weeks after it started, it's over. A 5 o'clock shadow on my head, a sunburn on my breast, and a celebration in my heart.
We got something special for you, a graduation present.
This is the best present I've ever gotten because it symbolizes something so wonderful.
Yes. Okay, thank you. Okay. Wow, that was about 6 weeks after. This is about 8 weeks after I started my radiation. Wow. Well, radiation was an inconvenience because it was every day, as you saw, 5 days a week, but it wasn't painful at all. I used the lotion the doctor told me to use several times a day. I never experienced any severe burning or even skin irritation. It was a piece of cake. This journey is far from over. I'll be on tamoxifen for the next 5 years, and I will always look over my shoulder, so to speak, and always be at a higher risk for breast cancer. But I would never take it back. In many ways, this whole experience has turned into a blessing. And I have learned that attitude is such an important part of this battle. So if you've been recently diagnosed, remember, put your faith in God, keep your attitude positive, and you can beat this. If you need help or you need information about treatments, resources, support groups, and you live in the San Antonio area, there's a number you can call. You can contact the Cancer Therapy and Research Center. That phone number is 1-800-340-CTRC. Now, if you live outside of the San Antonio area, there's another number you can call. It's a national number, 1-800-4-CANCER. Good luck, and God bless you.